Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
Yes, let's do that right now. It's Coffee Ann here on ON. On Monday morning, it's July 8th in the year 2024. My name's Joe Callahan. That's Dave Richards right over there. Good morning to you there, Dave.
Oh, hi there.
Nice to have you here with us. And we expect Melissa Murray to be joining us at some point in time here on the program. She's just not here just yet, but if Melissa's listening, the coffee is ready.
Oh, cool.
So that should get her here in a flash.
You think so? Yeah.
I think so. Well, we had the big 4th of July weekend.
We did, and
has come to an end.
Well, yeah, and boy, it came to an end with a bang yesterday in North Smithfield. That's for sure. They were originally looking forward to Saturday for a big day, with a fun day and all the rest of that stuff, kids and the car show and stuff like that on Saturday. And guess what happened Saturday, Joe?
It rained most of the day.
It made it a little inhospitable for all that, and they moved it all to Sunday and went off without a hitch yesterday. Very nice.
Good. So that went well. We hope you had a wonderful 4th of July long weekend, no matter how many days you took off. And maybe you're on vacation this week, and so it's quite possibly. So that's good for you. All right, other things that we want to get to. We want to congratulate, by the way, Lou did not mention it in the sports, so I'll mention it here. There are 3 members of the Boston Red Sox that have made it to the All-Star team. So congratulations to them. Rafael Devers, pitcher Tanner Houck, and center fielder Jarren Duran.
Yeah, well, Duran should have made it, I suppose.
And he did.
Because he's on an upswing, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And of course, Devers is he's been a little gerbil at third base now for a couple of years, and he seems to be coming consistently
good.
And
he got 2 home
when's
runs
the last
night.
time you had a pitcher from the Red Sox on the All-Star team?
Well, Chris Sale.
Yeah,
but
you
got to go back
Chris
to
Sale
28.
was
You had to go back to 2018 for that.
That's right. That's right.
So, but Chris Sale will pitch in the All-Star game today. Not today. This year.
He will.
Oh, he's like 10-2 with the Atlanta Braves. He's having.
Well, what was the Red Sox doing wrong?
He kept getting hurt up here.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is. He hasn't got hurt, and he's pitching great down in Atlanta.
That smells.
And we all said as soon as he left, he goes, "Well, we're glad he's out of here because he's always hurt, but he's going to go down there and he's going to have a great year." And he went down there and he's having a great year. It's exactly what everyone predicted.
We spent all that. We're still paying him, aren't we?
I'm sure we are.
Yeah.
Atlanta's
to have a
real
really good year for somebody else.
Happens in baseball. Anyway, Congratulations to the 3 people
fair, that's for sure.
that are representing the Boston Red Sox this coming All-Star game, which will be happening next week in Texas, I believe, is where that game will be taking place. And the Worcester Red Sox, they get to crow a little. They're very happy. It's the first time since they've become a team in 4 years that they've had a member, an alumni of their team, make it to an All-Star game. So,
nice.
So they were all happy over there in Worcester. Now, Dave had to drive over to the Worcester airport. Did you go by Polo Park on your way? Did you happen to see it?
Well,
I don't know how Waze takes you.
Maybe I saw some light stanchions, but it was on
that was
hill,
probably
so
it then.
that wasn't it.
No?
No.
There's a couple of baseball fields in
right.
in the
It was
city.
kind of like I think what I saw was the Holy Cross one.
Okay, all right.
So that's not far away from Polo Park.
No. And I think that's where the Worcester Bravehearts play. It's a college level team.
Well, anyway, no, I didn't actually see Polo Park because I was hanging a left and going to Weston Worcester, which is where the airport is.
Okay.
Way up on a hill.
Yes. Well, but that was your first trip to the Worcester airport. And,
it was, yeah.
Overall thoughts on that airport?
Barren.
Well, there's only one airline that I think that flies in there.
4 gates.
Well, there you go.
No, there's 3 airlines actually.
Are there 3?
American has a terminal there.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
JetBlue has a terminal there, and somebody else. I didn't pay attention.
Like a Spirit or a Sprint?
Well, it could be, but the one that I wanted to see was JetBlue because that's what the airline I had to drop people off on.
Okay.
And JetBlue was the second one. I didn't pay too much attention to what came afterwards. You must understand I was fixed on my mission.
Oh yeah. you're in departure mode.
Yes, that's right. I was in drop-off mode. But I'll tell you, when I say barren, I mean that you don't see a lot of people there.
Yeah.
There's some activity, but it's very subdued. Think of going to TF Green,
early in the morning.
but no,
late
not,
at night.
not right.
Like midnight.
Like really nothing much is happening at TF Green, and
Yeah.
and that's of course you're not under an overhang or anything like that. But when you get there, and you park right there where your airline sign is because nobody else is.
Mm-hmm.
I looked around. I didn't see any cops. I didn't see any Port Authority police or anything else like that. So I helped them with the bags into the terminal.
Okay.
Yes,
That's
4
fine.
steps inside the terminal is the desk.
There you are. At
For
JetBlue.
yeah, really, I'm telling you, it's like whoa. And at that point, I says, I better get back to the car in case
Just in
somebody
case.
shows up.
Yeah.
But seriously, from the car to the building was maybe 25 steps. I was right there.
Yeah.
And then through the double doors, and then just a few steps inside is the desk. So I'm saying, as airports go, Monterey, California was bigger and busier.
Mm-hmm.
And that was probably the tiniest airport I ever flew into for Ballard.
Well, we'll see how it goes today. 'cause
Monterey,
You'll
California.
be making another trip back there. This time we'll be picking up. You'll be picking up.
Yeah, this afternoon.
We'll see how
be,
that- how
yeah,
that-
we'll be
how
picking up
arrivals
this
go.
afternoon. The fabulous Denise comes back.
All right. Melissa Murray has joined us at the table here at the Coffee and Table. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning.
Nice to have you with us. Did you have a nice 4th of July weekend? Was
I
it
did.
busy? Did you get a lot of signatures?
Yeah, all
weekend
campaign stuff.
Yeah.
All weekend long. Yep.
Okay.
It's on
It's
now.
the American
It's
way.
Yeah. Yay.
Have you got
So-
have you hit your level yet? Have you got enough
No.
signatures?
No.
Not yet? Okay.
No. We have till Friday. There's actually. Am I allowed to talk about it?
Yes, you may.
Okay. I want to make sure because we're like on the
'Cause
cusp
when you're-
here, so
when-
I want to
when you're
make
s-
sure that.
No.
Yeah.
It's okay. Nobody is misbehaving, so I'm cool with all of this.
Okay.
And if is it the 12th that the
It's
board
the
of canvassers?
12th. Yeah, that they're
And-
due, and
yeah.
then they go through them all, and then they send
And it's
them
in the
to-
afternoon on the 12th.
Well, then they send them to the Board of Elections that certifies
Okay.
them.
All right. So the local board of
So-
canvassers doesn't
They
certify.
They certify.
They
your
certify the list that goes to the
signatures.
state, and the state certifies it again.
Right.
So you're
It's
double certified by the time you get on the ballot.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, let me just tell you, Friday's cool.
Okay.
But ain't nothing going to happen on Friday that's going to be irreversible, right?
No.
And if it does, it's going to be in the afternoon, before 4.
It isn't even. I think there's like
or
a.
after 4. Actually, the board of canvassers meets after 4, don't they? As a board, usually, not during the business day.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That I'm not sure.
I'm just
but,
saying. By
there
9
is
in
like
the,
a-
by 9 o'clock in the morning, have they done their thing yet?
No, it's not done yet.
Well,
it's
then,
not done yet.
we'll see you Friday.
Right. And then there's
All
there's a
right.
Friday can be your swan song.
Okay.
Before you have to go off for your part-time job.
Yeah, my part-time job.
Okay.
In quotes. So there is an event tonight. There's a signature signing event at the Elks. It's from 6
Oh
to
yeah,
8.
it's a mega
It's
one. A
a
lot of
big-
candidates
it's
are
a-
involved, aren't they? I
Yeah.
keep hearing about
It's
it.
a mega one, I guess.
Nobody
yeah,
invited me, of course,
Well, you're not
because they
running.
know
Well, I
that I don't
mean,
go to these things.
it's on social media.
Well,
but
if you
no,
want
it-
somebody to know about it, you might try
That's
some
why
other
I'm telling
some other
everybody.
media.
So there's candidates from not every single candidate will be there, but there is like
And you're all
two-
like
two
splitting.
dozen.
You're all like splitting the Elks Hall
Yep.
charge.
yep.
That makes sense.
Yep. It's not a partisan thing. It's just like, hey, let's come get signatures, and we split it, and
And you still get to talk to the constituents.
you
right?
still get to.
Sure.
Yep, it's a meet and greet.
Yeah.
So come out and you can meet candidates for city council,
This is
for
where you
mayor,
really have
for,
to know what your
Yeah.
district is, where the boundaries of
Oh,
your
yeah.
district
Well,
are. Because
yeah, but we can. Yeah,
have to be
if you
sure.
don't- if you're not sure, we can. We can
Figure
help
it
you.
out.
Like I know. If someone says, "Oh, I'm not sure," and I say, "Okay, what street do you live on?" Then
Yeah.
I can tell them.
Yeah,
Some cases it depends on what side of the street.
it
But
does.
it
Yeah,
does.
sometimes.
But yeah, and if not, you just plug it into your phone and find out. And then the next night after that, there is a party signing at Lops Brewing from 5 to 7.
yeah,
With
they got assigned parties.
Yep. I'm going to assign everybody a party. No.
All right, great.
So yeah, that's going on all week.
So it just always reminds me, Dave, of the song by Summertime Blues. You need to use this sometime. I'd love to help you, son, but you're too young to vote. So just move it along. Bring your parents back here, will you? So
Yep.
talk to them.
Yep.
All right. Well, good luck with all of that. So one of the bigger stories that we had from over the weekend, and it happened last week. And you hear about hit and run accidents happening, and sometimes you just go, well, it's bad. It's bad. It shouldn't happen like that. But in Woonsocket on the hit and run, the victim has passed away.
Oh,
This
terrible.
is a
That
this is a
happened,
really
yeah.
bad hit and run.
Yep.
He was hit, I guess, pretty well.
Run over,
Run
right.
over really,
That's
really
what I've
badly.
heard. Run
Yeah,
over.
So
I heard the term run over because that means something different.
It does.
that means he's lying
There's
down.
this, well,
That's what it seems to me.
there
You're
seems
lying
to
down
be
and
some
run over.
intention to it. But is this the situation where the two people knew each other?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And
Oh,
there
yes,
was an
okay.
argument. There was an ongoing
Yep.
argument
So
between
then
the
there
two of
was-
them.
Yeah.
And the guy who was driving the car ditched the car and hasn't been seen since by anyone who is attached
That
to
would
the
be,
authorities.
37-year-old Andrew Martin, and the police have put out his picture, and this is what he looks like. And as anyone knows where he is, we'd like to talk to you.
The
Absolutely.
witnesses all
Know where he
over, though.
is.
Oh.
Yeah,
Serious. There's witnesses all
Yep.
over.
Yep.
but he's going undercover, and now these.
I'm sure once they got the car, they
Yeah.
checked it for fingerprints and
Yeah.
stuff so that they can put him in the car.
Right, but now he probably knows that the other person, Andrew Martin, has died. I'm sorry, I got it backwards.
Well, it's in all the papers. I know
that's
what you're
right.
talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah.
Michael LaFave was run over. They're looking for Andrew Martin. Okay,
Yeah.
but now they knows that Michael has passed away. No, I'm in more
Yeah,
trouble.
it's time to come forward and do the right thing.
No, yeah, but do they really think that way?
Well, everyone
Now
else
it's time-
does.
now it's time to hide out
Well, it's
a little
been almost
longer,
a week.
and maybe
how long can I stretch this?
Well,
maybe
it's not
they'll-
gonna.
maybe they'll forget about me.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It just says an ongoing domestic dispute. I'm not sure if there's a woman involved in this. I thought that's what I read right off the beginning.
Yeah, I'm
where,
not sure.
Where the Martin was involved with a woman, and then that's ended, and then LaFave gets involved with the woman, and Martin's not happy about it, and so they get just arguments and more arguments, and then it gets to the point where I'm going to run you over with my car. I'm going to take this 2,000-pound vehicle and hit you with it.
You're lucky if it's only
Wow.
2,000 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
By the
Yeah,
way.
I know they're a little.
Some
you're
of them
right,
are
some
a
are
little
more.
Yeah, right.
These electrical vehicles are much heavier
Yikes.
now. So yeah, that's a shame that now that it's come to that, where the man here in Woonsocket has passed away, and in other news, we got the man down there in South County, down in Hopkinton, who the police say first shot his wife,
Yeah.
Right.
then he went on a police chase, and then he dies.
You know, the backstory on that was that they were chasing him
Yes,
because they saw him on Saturday morning.
they put out the arrest warrant for him.
Right. And they saw him on Saturday and they began a pursuit.
Yep,
Then he crashed the
He
car
crashed
and he
it-
was dead when they got to them.
but
got
not
to
saying
him.
how.
Well, the backstory on that, this is what the gossip is.
Oh, good gossip. All right.
Is that, he's fleeing from police. He realizes they've got radios, he doesn't, and
Yeah.
this isn't going to end well. And that he shot himself while he was driving the car.
Oh, dear.
And that's what caused him to crash.
That's what the
Okay, that's-
gossip is.
That's good. All right, that's quite possible.
Police haven't said it yet.
no,
they're
not yet.
investigating.
They'll do the autopsy first to make it official, sure. But no any reason that you've heard, Dave, of why he killed his wife?
No, but I
That's
mean,
not come out yet?
let's face it. Anybody who's been married knows you can get pretty steamed at somebody, and some people take action on that being steamed. I mean, so we're talking about scenarios that have been going on for millennia, Joe.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
So
but
So
Some
much
people just-
anger.
some
So
people-
much anger.
yeah, right. I
Some
mean,
people just go for a walk.
interpersonal
Yes.
relationships
Right.
not handled well.
Yeah.
yeah,
And guys and gals and stuff like that, and then married people, and the sad story often told.
right. And then we had a guy shot in Providence.
Just
More
sitting in his
violence.
car, not doing nothing.
Yeah,
Just sitting there next to the
that's what they
Chad
tell
Brown,
you.
next to Chad Brown, and that's the part, of course, when you drive down to Providence and you're on 146, it's the last little neighborhood on the right you see when you pass into Providence before you get to the interstate. And that whole area there is where Chad Brown is. And he's just sitting in his car, not doing nothing, just enjoying the breeze. And stuff like. And somebody came by and shot him in the leg.
I bet he was targeted.
Well, you never know.
As
You
my
never
dad
know.
always said, stay out of Chad Brown.
Yeah, I heard that too when I
Don't,
was
don't.
growing
When
up.
I
Don't
was
go
younger,
there.
yes, but I don't think it's.
Has it changed?
I don't think it's the same.
Well,
no.
the interesting thing
well,
is when
okay.
we were young, when I was younger, it was before. It was during the years of the mixed-up mile, and you had to drive through Chad Brown to get to 95 and the rest of Providence because the road ended.
Mm-hmm.
You know, once they put 95 in, they disconnected 146 from any other street, and then they had to connect it to 95. But it took years to get it done because there was some complications. As I recall, Mr. Skiffington, late of this area, was the member of the legislature that they named it after because he
That's
kept
right.
pushing for it on account of I can't get here or home without having to go through Chad Brown. And the whole union paper thing and the rest of that sort of that area there. So he wasn't at all happy with that, and they did manage to get a nice. Now they're redoing it, especially on the northbound side, to be a little bit smoother and stuff. But as I say, we
I'm
had
not
to
sure
drive
that
through
it
it
is,
then.
but That's
Yeah.
another story.
Huh?
I said I'm not sure that it's that it's smoother now that they're redoing it on the northbound side, but that's another story.
Well,
It's.
I think that it will be.
I don't know. It's
You have
still
concerns?
not good. Still not good.
Well, I don't know. I haven't taken it from.
I've driven that way a lot this year.
Well, sure you have, but I haven't taken it from the perspective of starting off at your part-time job place. But coming from East Providence,
Yeah.
it's no big deal at all. They give you plenty of signage ahead of time. The arrows actually point to the lane you're supposed to be in. You
That
know how
is a good
sometimes
thing. That
they
is a
give you a
good thing.
road
Yeah.
sign and it points to kind of like between two. Kind of, and
Yeah,
you say,
pick
should I
one."
be in this one or this one? Because I can't be really sure. Well, no, they really aim these signs very nicely, and it goes right to the lane you're supposed to be in.
That is nice. That is
Yeah.
nice when there's a big barrier in between. But then when everybody goes to, like, people still don't know where they want to go. It's
Yeah.
always like the jam up there, right near the State House. Actually,
Mhm.
when you're coming up, yeah. I
I
don't know,
know,
that it's any. It's slightly better. I guess.
Well, they're
know-
still working on it. Let's before we complain, let's wait for them to finish. Then
I
we
know
can
if you're
tell them
coming from
if they were
this-
bozo or
If you're
not.
coming from this part of the state and you want to go to Providence College, Waze will take you through Chad Brown.
Yeah, of course it will. Yeah.
Because that's technically the faster way to go.
It is.
But if you know let's stay in Douglas Ave.
Well, you could go to the state offices and take Route 7 over.
Yep.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah.
But Waze has an interesting way of doing things. I told you about
yeah,
this, Joe. I'll
I
mention
know.
it for the folks listening in. We just talked about going to the Worcester Airport because it's like $50 cheaper for an airplane flight than it was out of Green. I love Green.
Yeah.
But the Southwest out of Green was $55 more than JetBlue out of Worcester, and I said, well, there you go.
Let's give it a shot.
So we decided to do it. And when I'm going up, of course, I'm using the Waze on the dashboard because I don't want to. You're bringing somebody to a plane. You don't want to make them late
Yeah.
Mhm.
because
Yeah,
travel
yeah.
is an adventure. For myself, I would probably just drive around and I'd figure my way out of it and all the rest of this stuff. Use some dead reckoning that I was taught as a youngster. But for somebody else, I'll turn on the computer. So I did, and I'm watching. We're driving down the street and it's stopping at every red light, which is about every block, and going toward the Worcester Airport, heading west within the city of Worcester, and I see a sign on Mill Street saying turn right for Worcester Regional Airport. And I look down at Waze and it says, no, go straight,
straight.
dummy. So this one time I went along with Waze. Usually I completely confound the little computer and it starts going spastic and smoke starts coming out of it and it starts blinking and it's very upset with me because I didn't do what it told me to do. But I'm a human being, so I sometimes counteract. This time I didn't. I went straight. And going through more red lights and more of the city and stuff like that. And then there's another right-hand turn to go up the hill that never ends until you get to Worcester Regional Airport. Well, the funny thing about it, Joe, is that coming back after dropping off my passengers, right, it tells me to take a left when I get to the end of Airport Road instead of the right.
Yeah.
I took a left to get into Airport Road, which means I came from the other end. It says take a left. I says, this isn't right. But my time's my own now.
Yeah.
So I says, let's have an adventure. Let's find. And it takes me down the hill on the other side of the hill, and hooks me onto Mill Street, which I could have taken.
That's right.
And come up that way. And Mill Street has hardly any red lights. It's very nice. It goes to a residential area. Split lanes. Very interesting thing, too. They got a bike lane. And picture this in your mind's eye, Joe. Going from right to left, where right is the sidewalk and left is the center lane of the highway, the double lines. And so you've got the sidewalk, and then you've got the bike path at the curb. Parking your car is done next, further out into the street, with plainly marked boxes where you can park your car. And then there's the single travel lane.
All right.
And then there's an island. Well, that's what Mill Street is like when you get that far into Worcester.
Well, now you know to take the right when you see that sign for the Worcester
I
Airport.
could do that.
Take a right on Mill Street.
I could do that.
All right, we're going to take a break here on the Coffee and program, but more coming your way. Comments, questions can be called in at 766-1240.
Are you looking for solutions to meet your business banking needs? At Milford Federal, the longest-standing community bank in the area, they offer customized solutions for commercial lending, cash management, online banking, and payment processing services. Their business banking team is committed to the growth and success of your business with local decision-making and a relationship-based approach. Let Milford Federal be your banking partner. Visit them at milfordfederal.com today. Milford Federal Bank, our community, your bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender, and MLS number 465956.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
ON, AM, and FM.
That's us. It's Coffee and here on ON. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Melissa Murray and Dave Richards, and they're out and about, and they found a Ring camera spotted a black bear in Coventry, knocking over their bird feeder. They like that food as well. And
Especially if it has one of those things that has honey mixed in.
Yeah, yep. I don't know where Sharon Drive in Coventry is, but it's near the high school. In case you know
which
that.
means it's up on the hill.
Down that way. And after it had it's full of the bird feed, it walked back into the wooded area.
Yeah.
That's what they do. And I love that the DEM always reminds you, if you see one, don't approach it.
Call the DEM.
Oh, a nice kitty.
People will,
I know they will. And
Someone will try to take a selfie with the black bear and
you hear about
or
that?
a bear cub. Don't do that.
Cubs. Jeez,
Don't
that is
do
really
that.
crazy.
I'll get 1 million likes with this.
Yeah, and but you read about that, not around here, but we'll say at Yellowstone National Park, where the bison are grazing.
Yeah.
Well, they seem calm and docile, so they walk up to them, and then they get gored.
Yes.
What
Animal
are you
weighs
doing?
hundreds of pounds. I know. I saw that when I traveled last year to maybe it was the year before, San Diego, and people were taking selfies with the baby seals. Baby seal is not that small, and
No.
mama is
Those bull seals are.
Yes,
Huge,
they're
huge
really, really
animals.
big. Yep,
All right.
they
well,
will not be pleased.
No. Okay. So, I wouldn't recommend it. So, and then we had two people in East Providence that went kayaking, and they passed away.
Yeah.
One from East Providence and his friend from Alston, Massachusetts. They were reporting missing late on the 4th of July. 2 empty kayaks were later found, but then both bodies were recovered. I'm like, makes you wonder
Where-
how the bodies fell out of the kayaks.
Where were they kayaking? Does it say?
Omega Pond, I guess that's in East Providence.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never heard of it.
I haven't heard it. The deaths do not appear to be suspicious, but it does remain under investigation. I always thought you were locked into a kayak pretty good. So when you went out, I don't know how you fall out of a kayak. But,
Right.
But
But if
I
you
don't kayak, so I don't know. I don't know
Right.
how easy it is.
Oh, that's pretty simple.
But if you flip a kayak,
If you flip it over and you can't ride it,
Yeah.
you release yourself from
You
it.
can.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, some of them have seat belts, but not everybody uses them.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you want to be able to.
But
Get
you
out
could
if you
pull
need
your
to.
seat belt and then come up for air. Maybe things don't go right for you. I don't know. It depends on why you flipped over.
Yeah.
It could have been a shark. I don't know.
I doubt it.
And about not well.
That's
In
all
the
you hear
pond?
these days is things
Could have been
about
us all.
sharks.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
I
that's
know.
only because they're
Goodness me.
along the ocean.
On the pay cable channels. Now they're imitating each other.
What did I
putting
see?
shark shows up.
Oh yeah, is it Shark Week again?
Yeah.
Oh, it might be.
You know, well, that's it. Shark Week lasts 5 months.
Well,
It's
5 months.
incredible. Well, they have the
False.
preview for Shark Week, and they have this. I said there's one. I think it's National Geographic that does it, right? And then the next thing you know, channels that National Geographic owns, but usually do something else, are starting to put shark stuff up. So yesterday, it's Shark Week. On National Geographic, then shows
All
that
right.
don't quite make National Geographic get assigned to the lesser channels like Discovery, and it's like the shark that dated my aunt, and
Oh,
but
His name
shark
was
has
Vinny.
to appear in the title. You know, so I'm going through and I'm seeing this stuff and I'm vomiting. As I'm hitting all the presets. Of course, Denise loves game shows, so I go to the game show channel and it says Card Sharks, and
That's got nothing to do
I
with the
shut the
animal.
television off. Seriously, it was awful.
You know that there's a movie
What?
called Sharknado.
Oh yeah, I was going to bring
I
that
There's
up.
like-
thought I'd heard that.
There's like
yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4 or 5.
Oh,
of them now.
there's many
It's
of
such
them.
a it's such a silly.
They're meant to be ridiculous.
premise,
Yeah, it is.
but I haven't seen any.
Well,
of
I'm
them.
very familiar with the silly premise because the Saturday Night Live, not ready for prime time players had the
Yeah,
skit about land shark.
Yeah, that's
You know,
right.
land shark,
Yeah.
or people being stupid and opening their door to a shark.
Yeah.
And it was all a takeoff on how stupid Jaws was, but one of the channels was playing the shark,
Sharknado.
Jaws, the
Oh,
Jaws.
movie, Okay.
I guess it was there were 42 of them or something like that. I think
Four.
it's second only
There's
to
4.
Rambo.
There's 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So anyway, but I mean, I passed by it one time, and they're running Jaws, and then they're running Jaws 2,
2
and
and 3.
heaven knows where it's going from here. But the lineup says there's another Jaws movie coming on. I forget which channel that was
The making of Jaws.
because I didn't stay on
Right.
it.
When I was walking to the Worcester Red Sox game on Saturday, I'm walking by the front of the building, and there's 5 Mass State Lottery vehicles.
Really?
I'm like, it must be Mass State Lottery Day here. I was like, but I didn't hear about it. What's going on? And I look up ahead, and there's a bunch of people, and they're all wearing Jaws T-shirts.
Yeah.
But it's part of the
Oh,
lottery.
it's a scratch ticket.
It's their new
Yeah.
new game, and they were passing out free lottery tickets to anyone that was over 18, I guess.
Yeah.
And they're handing one to me. I'm like, no, fine, thanks. But everyone's a winner. They actually told you that. You can win either one.
Well, that's how they do it. I mean, there are laws.
There are $1 to $5 winners.
Right.
So everyone's a winner. Just turn it in at any place that sells a mass lottery.
It's a promo.
to get
yeah.
it is to get you to buy more.
To get you buy more, right?
And I brought my ticket home and $2. It was a
And
$2 winner.
a lot of those $1 winners won't return them either. They're
Maybe
like, oh,
not.
it's a
It's a
dollar, right? So
dollar,
they
yeah.
really don't
Well,
have
no.
to
When you
shell out
go
that
there
much
and you
money.
find out, you go to the store and you find out that it's a winner. Oh, just give it to me in lottery tickets.
Give me another lottery
right,
ticket.
because
yeah.
it's free, right?
So
right,
I
and
mean, they
then-
get their money
yeah,
back.
They sure do.
Except for me. And
You took the cash?
Well, I haven't turned it in yet, but I'll
Oh.
just say, give me the $2. Actually, what I'll probably do is wait till I have to buy another gallon of milk.
Yeah.
Put that towards the milk.
Yeah.
But I've done that before, where I've turned in a lottery ticket,
Yeah.
and the guy said, "Oh yeah, it's a winner." It's like I think it was $5 at the time, and now he's staring at me,
Yeah.
and I actually had to say, "Okay, this is the part where you give me the money." And he said,
Yeah,
"Oh,
a lot of people don't do that.
most people want it in lottery tickets. No, I'd like the cash, please."
I'm the lottery ticket
I'm not-
type. I'm not the money type. If
I
it's,
want-
it's
really?
and yeah,
Just
I
give me,
mean,
yeah,
it's
that one
just
and that one?
yep.
Mhm.
Oh well, if I get it as a gift, because I don't buy
Yeah.
lottery tickets, so the only time I get lottery tickets is as a gift.
Yeah.
So if I win, $2, $5, $7, whatever,
So you go back.
I
and
always
get
want
another more
yeah,
scratch
because
tickets?
yeah. But
But why not? 'Cause
but
you
my
never know.
partner, nope,
Nope. What's
the
cash?
money.
Just either
Yep,
2,
we're
1,
just- yep.
5, 10.
It doesn't matter.
No,
yeah.
I'll just take the cash.
So there's, I guess there's only 2 types of people.
So it was a big Jaws ticket.
Yeah,
and you had to,
I've seen it. It's
you
cool.
Had to, you had to scratch where the mouth was.
Yeah.
Just to see if you won in there. And there had to be 20 lottery people there. All because you could all tell they're all wearing white T-shirts with Jaws on them. Like, must be a new game. I'm just hearing about it.
People love sharks, but I have to say, when that movie came out, what was it, 1978? Was it 75?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was a year old when it came out. So when I saw it, I was still very young. I didn't see it at
Yeah.
a year old, but I didn't swim I would not swim in the deep end of my uncle's pool alone.
Fear of sharks.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. Like it just I know it's ridiculous. I also know I'm not the only one, right, at my age who had a fear of any kind of deep water, no matter what. Like the shark's gonna come out of this deep end of the chlorinated pool, in-ground pool. So my brother always jokes with me, and one time he sent me a meme that was just like a shark coming out of like a blow-up pool, and he's like, "This is your biggest fear, isn't it?" Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
No, I was 9 when Jaws was out, and of course it was a huge hit, and I went to go see it at the Lincoln Mall before the new Cinema World thing is there.
When you were 9?
9.
Oh,
And,
that was
I
scary.
I was brought by my mother brought myself and my older brother and older sister. And it was sold out, and so we couldn't sit together. My mother and sister had to go sit over there. My brother and I sat over there because it was so crowded. And this is this was the first thing I realized in a movie theater, that no one's paying attention to you. So when the scenes, especially for a 9-year-old, were getting too intense, I just close my eyes.
Yeah.
And no one knows my eyes are closed, and I'm waiting for the screams, and I heard them, and then when they were done, okay, now I can open my eyes.
Were you like a cover the eyes, or were you just like a peep through?
Because my brother's sitting next to me, he would see me doing that.
Oh, yeah.
So if I
you wouldn't get away with that with a brother.
That's right.
right.
So you just sit there very quietly.
Got it.
And close your eyes, and then open them back up when the screaming stops.
Yeah.
And no one notices. I said, this is perfect.
Now, you had a brother growing up, right?
Little younger though. I was the oldest.
But that's right. But the brothers treat sisters differently than they treat brothers.
Yeah.
You don't get away with that stuff
I
with
would
a
have
brother.
been teased quite a bit if I was closing and covering your eyes. Why are you
Oh.
doing both?
If my little
no,
brother
no,
had
no.
done that, I probably
That
would have been
comes
like,
home.
"Don't be scared," and I probably would have hugged him. But no,
older
it's
brother
different.
would not
It's
have done
different.
that.
Yeah.
He tortured me in other ways.
That comes home and
And then you tell all the other boys in the neighborhood.
of course,
So-
yeah.
And then it wouldn't have ended good. All right. It's time for the weather forecast, and it's being brought to you by Allstate.
Mostly sunny skies today with a high near 92 and a calm wind. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies, overnight low of 71. Tuesday's weather partly sunny and 89. Wednesday, there's a 40% chance of a shower, mostly cloudy skies and 87. Thursday, a 50% chance of rain, mostly cloudy with a high of 83. Friday, back down to a 40% chance of a shower, especially late in the day, partly sunny, 85. Saturday, 40% chance of a shower, partly sunny, 87. And on Sunday, mostly sunny with a high near 89.
Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street with mostly sunny skies. We have 85 degrees. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Our family caring for your family. The Holiday Retirement Home is a skilled nursing and rehabilitation facility with a home-like atmosphere where laughter is the best medicine. The Holiday keeps their patients and residents involved in varied activities and events so they have the opportunity to live life to the fullest. The Holiday Retirement Home has their own in-house physical, occupational, and speech therapy staff with more than 300 years of combined experience. Stop in for a tour. The Holiday is right off Route 99 on Sales Hill Road in Manville, and for more information you can visit their website at holidayretirement.com. You know, when you're paying the right price for protection, you just know it. It's that warm, fuzzy, totally secure feeling, knowing that you're not only getting great coverage, but you're also not paying too much for it. And when it comes to your insurance, there's no one better at getting the right price for your protection than Allstate agents Kara and Celeste Benjamin, because they know when it comes to your bank account, every penny counts towards something bigger, something better. Like a nicer car, that home update you've been dreaming of, or a phone that's fresh out of the box. Those little or big things that we work so hard for. And Kara and Celeste Benjamin want to help you work a little less by getting you the coverage you need and the savings you deserve when you switch to Allstate. Contact Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. 765-5000 for a free quote today. Allstate, you're in good hands. And you're in good hands with Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. Savings vary based on the average annual savings reported by new auto customers surveyed in 2019 who switched to Allstate.
Lou Mandeville here to tell you the only place to get your local high school and college scores, as well as the Pats, Bruins, Celtics, and Sox is on My Morning Sports Reports. And they are right here on ON 1240, Monday through Friday on the Morning Fun Show.
It is Coffee and here on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards and Melissa Murray. Just talking a little bit more about Jaws. And what's funny, because I've seen this, because it refers to you kind of, Melissa, because you're running for office. And it just said, remember, the same stupid mayor in Jaws is in Jaws 2 as the stupid mayor.
Yeah. With the jacket.
Yes, with the anchors
Mayor
on
Vaughn.
it.
Mayor Vaughn.
With the anchors on it. So it was
Years
just
later, when you watch that and he's in the hospital smoking a cigarette.
That's right.
Oh my gosh.
That's right. I guess
Good
it was
times.
smoking was allowed at that point.
Smoking
so.
was allowed everywhere then.
Yeah.
People smoked on airplanes.
I remember
then.
that.
It was wild.
So over the weekend in my town, Mansfield Fire was asked to come out because there was an accident on Interstate 495 in Norton, Massachusetts. It happens, and so they're out there. They're at the scene of the crash, and it's near exit 27, which is down where I believe it's if you go to Wheaton College, that would be the exit that you get off of. Anyway, all the fire personnel are outside the truck working at the accident. Here comes a tractor trailer, and it hits the fire truck.
Oh no.
And kept going. Yeah, it didn't stop, and of course they're not expecting it, and so they look up and they said, all I can see is it's white. It's an 18-wheeler. It's a white trailer,
Yeah.
and that's all I got. I don't even know if they even
Did they
got
ever find it?
not yet,
Oh, that's awful.
because we got the story today and they're asking anyone with information about the incident or the tractor
It
trailer.
got to be damaged
Well, that's what they're saying. It's at least got damage on the
on the cab, right?
and the
Or-
cab, because it took out most of the door of the fire
Oh.
truck. It did some really extensive damage.
Fire trucks are really, really expensive.
And they're expensive. Yep.
Yeah.
And luckily the fire truck was unoccupied when it was hit, so there were no injuries reported.
Good.
So I
Good.
don't know if they were able to drive it back to the
Probably
firehouse.
not.
I'm not sure.
Uh.
Maybe it had to get towed, but so it was going. I believe it was going down 495 south. So heading to the Cape, I guess.
Yeah.
And but if you've seen it, or if you've seen a damaged tractor trailer, you are asked to contact Massachusetts State Police.
Again,
Wow.
like, why not just do the right thing and
See,
pull over
that-
and be
that
like,
one I don't
I'm
understand.
so sorry. I didn't mean to do this. I'm not,
I can
presumably I'm not
understand-
intoxicated. And
Well,
then
right.
you're not going to get charged.
I can understand
Well,
when
maybe.
tractor trailers, if they've hit somebody and they think, oh, it was an animal,
Yeah.
and they keep going. But this is different. You've hit another truck,
giant
another vehicle, and when vehicles hit, it makes a certain sound.
Yeah. Crumple.
Yes. So you've hit another
Everyone knows that
vehicle.
sound when
Yes.
they hear it. Oh,
So why they kept going,
who knows?
I don't know. So, all right, it is. It's summertime, of course, and you got to be extra vigilant. Like you said, you were in charge of your brothers.
Yep.
Because you were the extra mom. But this was in Georgetown, Massachusetts. A toddler hospitalized after she was submerged in a swimming pool for at least 3 minutes.
Oh, wow.
At least it wasn't 3 hours.
Yeah.
But 3 minutes. There's got to be an adult watching the
It
kids.
only takes 30 seconds, right,
Yep.
for them to fall in and start.
Yep. So the firefighters responded. They found the 3-year-old girl had been removed from the above-ground pool but was unresponsive. They performed CPR on the child, were able to restore her pulse and breathing.
Good.
She's been taken to the local hospital after being flown to a Boston hospital for further treatment. So,
Keep your eye on those littles.
family
Yep.
must be very, very, very happy. It's funny. We had an above-ground pool growing up, and so, but we didn't get it till I was older, so 12 or so, and like that. But even, and we had a screened-in porch that was above the pool, so my mother was always out there watching us. But the ironic part was, my mother didn't know how to swim. So if something happened in the pool,
She could call the alarm.
she could
I
call.
mean,
She would be able to call right away.
Sure.
But,
it was an above ground pool, so it probably wasn't deep. Like she
No,
probably
it
could
was
have
4 feet.
Oh, stood up in it. So yeah.
Yeah, but she was really skittish about the water.
water, yeah.
First of all, it had to be like 100 degrees outside and 95% humidity before she went in. And she had to be, we had a very big black inner tube that had to be around her so she could hang on to it.
Oh.
She was, and she
She
always
was,
worried about.
she was a non-swimmer, right?
Oh, just no swimming at all. Never,
Okay.
never learned. And she just kind of hung to the side so she could hang on to the side. But
A lot of people don't know how to swim.
yeah,
Yeah.
but we always said that. They go, well, if what happens, what are you going to do? Well, I can call for an ambulance.
You know what though? Like when that adrenaline
Well, that
kicks in,
happened
and
with
you're a
me.
mom. I feel like the.
I don't think she would have jumped in. I
No?
really don't think so.
That happened with me and Denise. You know, I didn't learn how to swim till very, very, very late in life.
Yeah.
And Denise and I were out in the surf down in Florida on vacation. And she got caught in another. She started drifting out. Now,
Yeah.
I says, I can't go out there. But I turned
I'll drift
around
out
and
too.
called for the lifeguard.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And she was able to come out of it before the lifeguard got to her. But it was, no time was wasted.
All right.
I was so lucky. I grew up. Well, my grandmother had an in-ground pool,
Yeah.
and I learned to swim when I was really, really young. First I had
That's cool, yeah.
floaties on.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm very, very, very lucky in that way.
Well, my mother
that
was
I
very
learned
big
when I was little.
on you will learn how to swim. You won't be like me. And so
That's
from
good.
the time we were like 4 or 5, as young as you could go, and this was turned into the Boys and Girls Club in Cumberland.
Yeah.
That's where
Yeah.
me and my younger brother went
Sure.
for swim lessons. And
Yeah.
you will learn how to swim.
It is really important because you never know when you might find yourself in that
Yeah.
situation.
Well, that's
or-
true.
And then going to Cumberland High had a swimming pool at the high school.
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
So swim became part of phys ed class.
Yeah. Right.
So 1 quarter it was half swim and half health.
Right.
So you went for swim for about 6 weeks, and this would have been tough for you, Dave. Part of to pass,
Yeah.
you had to be in the deep end,
Right.
and you had to tread water for 15 minutes.
oh
No,
my
I would have
15
learned.
minutes is a long time.
That's a long
You
time.
don't-
When you've got that's all you're doing.
You don't get it. It's not that I didn't want to swim. It's
Yeah.
that I was never taught to swim, and I
Right.
never really had the need to swim because we were down at the ocean all the time, and you don't swim in the ocean, really. You go out and you bounce around, stuff like that, and maybe
Yeah.
you do some body surfing. And body surfing was fun for me, and I did that, and I didn't have any problems with it. There was never any. See, I was working with my father on weekends. I was 16. I was
But I'm
working.
just saying, if you
extra-
were,
See,
if
I
you had
did-
this class,
Right,
you
if I had the
you
class,
would
I had to
have-
learn
would've
how to
learned-
swim when
yeah.
I was in school. There's just never
Well-
any reason. We were just talking about oldest, children, watching your siblings and stuff. And so Melissa will understand this. When we went down to Peck's Pond at Pulaski Park, I was in charge of watching my brothers and sisters. So I wasn't out swimming anywhere. And they were all younger than me, so some of them weren't swimming either. And so, there was just never any time and any cause for me to learn how to swim until I'm working for Dr. Ballard. They get a new insurance policy. The insurance policy says everyone on the ship has to have an able-bodied, all the paid staff on the ship, has to have an able-bodied seaman certificate. And one of them is that you have to be able to tread water for 20 minutes. And so I went and learned how to swim.
Treading water is much easier in the ocean
Yes.
because of the salt.
Well,
it
sure
it
it
does help you. I mean, trying to tread water in a pool.
But they
is,
took
is
your
tough.
test.
Yeah.
You took the test in the pool. You took the test in
'Cause
the
it's
pool.
harder, right.
And where the examinations
You
were
float in
were
a pool,
down
you
in
can float in
Newport,
the
so it's like the
ocean. Yeah.
Newport YMCA pool or something like that.
Yeah.
That's where it was. But that's where I started to learn how to swim, and I finished it up on my own here up north.
What's funny with the swim class that I took, because boys are stupid, and we're gonna go tread water for 15 minutes. Well, the girls knew. They moved away from us, and they just treaded water. The boys are jumping on each other, making it even more difficult
Of course.
to survive.
Yeah.
And so that's basically when you were a sophomore. When you did it as a senior, we finally wised up. Stop jumping on each other, because this is making it more difficult. The girls
Yeah.
had it figured out immediately.
Yep.
They just stayed over there, and they did their thing, and we're all trying. Why are we trying to make it more difficult for each other? But that's what. That's what boys do.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. We finally, it took us 2 years to figure out to stop doing that.
Well, at least you figured it out eventually.
We did, eventually. All right, time for a break here on Coffee and more coming your way. Please stick around.
When you're out enjoying Rhode Island's great outdoors, remember these 3 steps to prevent Lyme disease. Repel, check, and remove. To repel ticks, use bug spray with at least 20% DEET. When you get inside, do a full body tick check. Be sure to check your kids and pets too. If you find a tick, remove it with tweezers. Remember, repel, check, and remove. For more tick-free Rhode Island tips, visit health.ri.gov/ticks. Brought to you by the Rhode Island Department of Health and the Rhode Island Broadcasters Association.
Join the St. Anatson Cultural Center for Christmas in July at Cellos in Woonsocket on July 14th. Cellos will be decorated in summer Christmas decor, and Santa will be there for pictures with the family. Cellos will donate up to 20% of your check to the center. Everyone who participates will be entered to win several prizes, including tickets to the Polar Express train ride. A certificate is needed to participate and can be picked up at Belo's Flowers, Creative Impressions, The Honey Shop, Little General on Cumberland Hill Road, Missy's Family Restaurant, Pine Swamp Place, Timeless Antiques, Vos True Value Hardware, or visit the St. Anatson Cultural Center website.
It's Coffee In here on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Melissa Murray and Dave Richards. Well, up in Massachusetts today, Massachusetts State Police Detective Michael Proctor, you might remember his name from the Karen Reed case. He's facing his duty status hearing today because of his behavior in the Karen Reed murder case. Proctor admitted to making inappropriate and sexist comments about Reed in private text messages after his arrest and her arrest, and is accused of other misconduct. So the
And
hearing
he's going into the hearing knowing his boss has publicly said, I want him out of here.
I want him fired.
I want him gone.
So the hearing will be held remotely and is closed to the public. Supporters of Karen Reed
Well,
will
it's
be
really, that's not the public's business, is it?
I guess not.
You got Leo
No.
Bohr things to worry
Yep.
about and stuff,
Yeah.
yeah.
But supporters of Karen Reed will be protesting outside the state police facility in Boston today, where Proctor
course.
has been reassigned after being removed from duty. So
Yeah. Think they're going to use him in the next trial?
no, no. Thank you very much.
How about any of the evidence that he gathered?
They might be able to use that.
Yeah,
Unless
as
they
long
think
as
it's
he didn't-
tainted.
I don't
Right.
know. I don't know. You're going to
They'll
have to
try
come
to
up with
throw
a
it
new
out.
set of evidence proving that the first set of evidence wasn't gamed.
Do they have enough second set of evidence
don't
to even
know
have
that.
another trial?
I got a good feeling about this. I think she skates after the second trial.
I don't think she has a second trial.
Really? Because I
I think
I
they
would
come out
have
and
thought
say, "That's
that,
it,
but
we
they
don't
seem
have
to be
enough."
gung ho toward in the second
They do,
trial.
and they were right off the bat. But then it's it's quiet time now, and they don't meet until 2 weeks from today. So that's,
And you gotta
there's just going to be more quiet
You
time
got to
for the
figure something else
prosecutors.
out too. Since there's so little evidence and so much controversial evidence
Mhm.
to the thing, why wasn't she charged with
Like manslaughter?
negligent
Driving,
homicide,
I don't know.
that, like you didn't know it, or something?
because
you
we
know?
got her on this. This is what we wanted her on.
Yeah, well, that's what
she
they
killed
wanted.
a cop, and this is what we want to convict her on.
Yeah, right.
The other stuff, she's only going to. If we get convicted, she'll get a year or 2. We want a real good conviction. And we want a real good sentence because she killed a cop. I think that's what they.
don't know,
I think that's what they.
Joe. I get it.
I've seen a lot
I
of
know
Law
what
and
you're
Order.
trying to say, but that's I know
And
what
that's
you're
what-
trying
and
to
that's what-
say.
and that's what they're going for.
But that's saying naughty things about police officers. and
well, look at
I
the
got to
kill-
see more evidence.
Look at the naughty things the cops did in this case.
Well,
So,
one cop did.
all
How-
right.
Who knows what other things were done? It hasn't been proven yet. We proved that one cop was
right.
misbehaving.
Well, the U.S. Postal Service is raising a price
Joe,
of forever stamps.
Well, of course they are. What else have they got to do? Do you know why there are forever stamps?
so people will buy them. 73
No,
cents
no,
beginning
no.
July 14th. I didn't know there was 73 cents.
No, they're
Yes.
They're 68 cents today.
Yeah.
They're 68 cents,
Yeah,
Joe.
July 14th.
Now-
They go to 73.
That's July 14th,
Yeah.
73. But they're not 73 today.
All right.
The reason that they are, this sounds a little cynical, but it's the truth. The reason why there are forever stamps is because it's a marketing twist. Oh, they're good forever. The
Hence the
fact
name.
is, it saves them a whale of a lot of money.
Well, I'm sure.
not having to print new stamps
Yes.
and discard stamps that
Oh,
were
yeah.
unsold every time they know they're raising the price. They're shooting for $1 an envelope, and they got to do it in stages. This time they're going up not 1 cent, 2 cent, 3 cents. They're going up 5 cents on this one.
Postcard and metered letter rates are going up too.
That's not good.
Well, the increases are part of a decade-long financial outline USPS is calling the, quote, Delivering for America plan. My uncle worked for the, he was a
For-
postal worker for a long time.
It's
I'm
actually-
assuming
it's
bulk mail's going to go up too, which means
Oh, I'm sure it is.
yeah.
Which also means
Sending out flyers is
That's
going
right.
to go up. Yeah, yeah.
But I asked him, how come postage stamps go up 3 cents, 2 cents, 6 cents? Why don't you just
Round
raise
it up.
Round it up 25
Cost of
cents,
gas.
and we're all set, for years. Now the way he explained it was because the United States Postal Service is a nonprofit organization, and if we raise it too high, now we're making a profit, and we can't.
right.
That's the way he explained it to me. That's why it
Okay.
goes up like
Cost
that.
of gas, cost of wages, all of this stuff. Yeah, it's all going up.
All right. What do you got there in front of you there, Dave?
No, I earlier I left the room. You noticed, and I took a telephone call, and was going to go back to the earlier conversation you had about the shark tickets, the
lottery tickets in
tickets,
Mass, okay.
and the shark game, that
Yeah.
the Mass Lottery. This caller called in and said, "Now all the tickets, you didn't make a mention of this, but you can determine what your bet will be on these tickets. You can buy them for $1, $5, $10, $20 tickets, right?"
Okay.
And it's kind of like having a multiplier. If you win, then you win multiples. Okay, so they were giving away the $1 tickets, probably where you were.
Well, it was $1 to $5 winners.
Why?
Yeah.
Okay, so but now this person says they got a $10 ticket. Loser. They consider themselves bitten by a shark,
yeah.
which fits right in with what we
Yeah.
were talking about.
Well, right. But these were, and it said for promotional use only, not for resale. Every ticket's a winner, kind of thing. So I
So
knew I
it's
was.
special,
I knew I
yeah.
was winning. So, all right.
Well,
That's
not
a
this
bummer
listener.
to get a $10
Lost
ticket and
and
get
lost.
nothing. Ah.
This listener spent $10, he says, and he got bit by the shark.
Yep.
All right. John Belushi's widow passed away.
Yeah.
Now, if I remember correctly, Dave, and you were around at this time,
I
you
certainly
might not
was.
remember too much on this, Melissa, when John Belushi passed away. But didn't she get a lot of the focus was on her, that she caused him to overdose?
Oh, you're misreading that. When John Belushi passed away, everybody who knew John was a suspect.
Mm-hmm.
When I say suspect, there was no doubt that he caused his own death,
Right.
but everybody from his girlfriend, his wife, not
wife
his
at the
girlfriend,
time.
his wife, to his manager.
Yeah.
I attended a management class back then in the and they
They were
they
supplying
were
him
saying
with it.
they were saying, you know, should the manager come up on charges, because the manager's responsibility is to make sure he was ready to perform. If he needed drugs and the manager made sure that he got the drugs,
Mm-hmm.
does that make the manager culpable for his death?
And what year was this? 'Cause I don't.
82.
82, yeah.
okay.
It wasn't 70s, yeah.
Okay.
So, so anyway, there was. I remember reading all the stories. Some of them I knew where they came from. Some of them were just repeated from others. That the 8th floor at 30 Rock was someplace that the Suits didn't want to ever get off on. They didn't want to know.
That's right.
And from 8th down, you hope you were taking the express because you didn't want to be part of any. But the drug and sex culture in 30 Rock for the Saturday Night Live show was not a rumor. It was a
Right,
proven
it was
fact.
fact,
It was a well-known fact, and that was the way it was. And so not every member of the cast took part, but every member of the cast, well, I guess they say condoned it because they were part of it. They wanted the job, and they tried to do their work and let everybody else have whatever they wanted.
Jane Curtin stayed away from all that.
Jane,
She didn't-
yeah,
she didn't
well,
want
she's
any
a good
part of
Catholic
that.
girl from Boston, and she didn't find the fun in it.
Yeah.
But she
So-
didn't. But she didn't yuck anybody else's yum.
Nope. Just wasn't for her.
So that was it.
So
But there was a
it's-
lot of that stuff going on, and believe me, the hours that they worked and the pressure that they were under to be funny was incredible. And so you can understand someone seeking chemical recreation.
Judy Palucci Pisano was her name. She died on Friday. She was 73.
Yeah.
Battled with cancer.
Right.
The two, her and John, met while they were both at Wheaton High School in Illinois.
Yeah.
They got married in 1976. Stayed together right up until his death of the drug overdose in 1982. And did you know he's buried on Martha's Vineyard?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
It's kind of a tourist thing to go
Oh,
to his grave
okay.
if you can
okay.
find it. I'm not sure where it is, but
Yeah. And
but it's there.
It was difficult because it was one of those media circus funeral things.
Oh yeah.
More press than mourners,
Mm.
and we've all seen those things. And Dan Aykroyd
He was a
explained that
pallbearer.
one of his most difficult things was going to John's service. In fact, he hid the fact that he was, if I remember correctly, he went over on the ferry because they didn't take your name on the ferry, and if he'd flown into the airport, he would have
would've
been
known
on
it
a
was coming,
manifest
yeah.
that was
Yeah.
public, and people would have been all over him.
Yeah.
So he tried to hide the fact that he was on the island at all. And he stood in back, then jumped over the fence at the church to come and be part of them before anybody knew he was there.
And he was very he dressed very down.
Yeah,
He was in a leather jacket and jeans just so he wouldn't be noticed.
right.
I guess. And
He tried to inconspicuously
Yeah.
be there, but he was so closely associated with John that you knew that I had to be there. I didn't want any part of the media. I wasn't going to talk to him, and I didn't
Yeah.
want to be a jerk, but I had to be there.
And it was
a
such a-
difficult time for him.
Yeah. And it was such a big case because, I mean, I don't really remember. I was
Young.
little
Yeah,
bit
you're
too,
much
little
younger,
little
yeah.
bit too young, but that was the first cast of Saturday Night Live. He was
Yes.
one of the first ones, right? So it was just huge.
Yeah, they're
Him
not
and
ready
Chevy
for
Chase
primetime
and
players.
Yep.
Later on, the players objected to being called not ready for primetime players, but the first ones wore it like a badge. Lorraine and Garrett and Dan
Yeah.
and John, and
Chevy
all
Chase, yeah.
Chevy Chase and all the rest of it, they wore it like a badge, not ready for primetime players because
It was funny.
you got to understand the culture back then.
Oh yeah.
That it was a badge amongst your peers to not be accepted by society.
We're on the edge.
Yeah.
We're on the outside.
Yeah.
Skydance Media and Paramount Global are agreeing to merge. I don't know if this affects you in any way. It doesn't
It's
really
more
affect me.
millionaires having
know.
fun with millionaires.
The announcement came late Sunday that Shari Redstone will sell her family's controlling stake in Paramount. The move comes as Paramount has been struggling with its traditional television business and looking to make cuts. A Skydance investor group will be putting up several $billion in the merger. The deal still faces regulatory approval. I've never heard of Skydance Media. I don't know
haven't
what they
either.
own or what they do, but they must have a lot of money
They must.
if they're buying Paramount, basically. So, all right.
Well,
good for them.
Paramount owns
Not-
CBS, I believe, now, because they bought Viacom. You know, it gets
Okay.
tough to follow all this, but
is.
if I recall, Paramount owns CBS because if you go to NBC's got the Peacock and stuff like that.
Yep.
Um,
CBS has got the eye.
well, that's right, but it's the Peacock streaming network.
Yes.
But CBS has Paramount Plus
Yes.
because Paramount owns
Owns them.
CBS.
Hmm. Okay. In Fargo, North Dakota, a man has been arrested in connection with vandalism. Police say it happened late last month. Somebody threw a rock at an ATM at a business and leaving it severely damaged. Now, as you know, there are cameras with every ATM.
Yes.
Right.
Even Tim Draper told us people look at the camera and wave.
Yeah.
They smile and wave. Hey, everybody. But anyway, so they used the surveillance camera and they were able to identify
Imagine that.
27-year-old Jose Rodriguez as the suspect, as officers recognized him from a previous call in which they removed him from the same business where the ATM was.
So that was a
Okay.
case of
So
Jose
came back
we
and-
can see, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we can
Came
see
back
you.
and he's mad and he threw a rock at the ATM. Okay.
He faces several charges, including felony vandalism and criminal trespass.
Yes. Because it's a bank, it's federal property.
Yep. I wonder if he was trying to get the money out of the ATM. If he thought of it
With a rock.
Well,
I don't know.
If I put a big enough hole into the ATM, I can reach in and.
Yeah.
Probably not, because he probably
Probably
threw
not.
He
He's probably just mad.
He probably threw it through the screen.
Yeah.
Of the ATM, and that's not where the money is.
That's not where the money is. No.
It's a little lower down than that. So they use a better form of security to hold the money. So there you go.
Was it like probably many years ago now, where people were like stealing whole ATMs?
Yeah, and we'll break into them.
And breaking into them, and then throwing them into abandoning them. Yeah. Yeah.
Have they found ATMs in the Blackstone when they were cleaning it up, Dave? Or is that too?
No, jukebox. Not
jukeboxes,
jukeboxes.
slot machines,
That's
right?
not, slot machines is what I was going to say. Not jukebox.
So gross.
Back when they had illegal slot machines.
Yeah,
we had to get rid of
Get rid of this one.
No prints on this one.
That's right.
Gus Levitt is on the warpath. We got to throw it in the river.
All right. We've come to an end of the program. Thank you very much for listening in, as always. So, Melissa, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Dave, thanks for being here.
Does anybody out there remember the late Gus Levitt? My goodness.
You're it.
Yeah, I guess I'm it. Yeah, he was public safety director under Ken Coleman when they got the home rule charter in the 50s, and they cleaned up the joint.
Okay. All right, stay tuned. We've got Leslie Page with At the Library.
She's here already.
Here. And Karen Zangari with Food First. And we got the Tiki Bar tonight at 6 here on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. The suspect who